Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion, my favorite part of the week. And we will start with Mangalacharan prayers. I will share the screen. You can recite along on mute. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam
स्थापितमेन भूतले
Rupah kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. All right, thank you for being here, everyone, and giving me a chance to study and share Srimad Bhagavatam. So, next we will recite the invocation verses, and if you would like, you can unmute and repeat. So, first, our obeisances to Shri Parikshit Maharaj, who caused the Srimad Bhagavatam to appear, and Shri Shukadev Goswami, who wonderfully narrated it to Parikshit Maharaj. Another picture, and then further, Srila Suta Goswami narrates it to Shaunakadi Rishis in Naimisharanya. So you can repeat after me if you would like. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naran Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirayet
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktirbhavati Naishtaki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji, for singing along nicely. And all right. Okay, I made a small mistake. I need to join from my iPad, which I did not join. 1 second. Sorry, this is... into the document now. Please give me 1 second. Usually I show the document with the iPad and I scribble on it, and I'm not able to find it on my iPad. I should have kept it ready, but I forgot. Oh, here it is. Okay, found it. Need to join Zoom. Sorry. Wasting time. Okay. So here we are. And one more thing I have to do. Are you seeing my screen here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Okay, sorry about that. So we will start now, finally. So, very beautiful chapter, very instructive chapter. Lot of concepts. I'm picking the chapters which I am interested in, and this chapter is, and you know, there are some very well known chapters and there are some less known chapters. We covered one of them last time, 10.26, which was Wonderful Krishna, which shows how the Vrajvasis were confused for some time that whether Krishna is Bhagavan or he is one among us. The Aishwarya versus Naratva, and how the whole discussion around it, there wasn't like a clear answer, but there is not meant to be a clear answer. Actually, I was reading recently that like Krishna is naughty, right? He plays mischief with his devotees. Similarly, in our understanding also he plays mischief. He likes to keep things cryptic so that we can, you know, two reasons for that. One is a more obvious reason, or a more sort of reason that many people will find acceptable. So, which is that keep things a little bit vague, not as vague as Vedanta Sutra, but little bit vague so that multiple interpretations can be possible. People with multiple beliefs, whether they are Brahmavadis or yogis or bhaktas, they can all appreciate Srimad Bhagavatam from their own angles. So leave that flexibility, that space to move around. But for devotees, now we all know Srimad Bhagavatam is a Amala Puran. It is full of rasa, and it is relished by the devotees. So for devotees' relishment, still things are a little cryptic. So that I was reading this in one of the commentaries, so that we keep thinking about it. Is it this? Is it that? How to understand this? How to understand that? And the end goal is Manaha Krishna Niveshayet, so that our mind is always focused on Krishna, little bit with a sense of mystery. So it's a little bit of rahasya, and we need rahasya. If there is no rahasya, if everything is straightforward, then we will forget, or we will not find it interesting. When there is rahasya, then we think about it. I was thinking when I read that, I used to see some like trilogies, or like, seasons or whatever. They leave it at a mystery. Then, the whole week you might keep thinking, and then next week it gets revealed, and it again leaves at a sort of a question mark. So with that intent, I intend to leave you with a question mark today at the end of the class. Very nice sort of one thought I will leave you with, and you can churn on it and think about it. And whatever comes out will come out. Anyway, so we covered 4 verses. We will see how far we go. If we can cover some few 4 to 7 verses, that will be nice. So let us see. I have to go a little early today, but we will see. So one thing, we started off with discussing the purposes of chapter 28 last time. And one of the purposes that we will cover today is to understand the position of demigods. So that purpose will be fulfilled today. And then the next few purposes, some portion of this will also be discussed, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. But Krishna reciprocating with his devotees in the bhava that they desire, this will clearly come later. Yeah. So what we have done so far, so we discussed, just a quick summary. It is few days after the Govardhan Leela, and the devotees of Vraja, they have observed the Ekadashi Vrat. And this Ekadashi was a little special. The Dwadashi was very small or short duration. And because that is the case, and the Vrajvasis were observing Ekadashi, Dwadashi, Parayan, it is called, the fast breaking, very strictly. And the Dwadashi was only for a short period, and it would occur in the night. And then by the time it is morning, Trayodashi would begin. So it was something like that. So Nanda Maharaj enters the river to take bath, and then he would honor something to eat after that to break the fast. It is called Parayan. By the way, I found a nice picture. Let me show you. Where is that? Yeah. So, okay, this is the standard BBT picture which I found by BBT. So first, obviously, we have to put that. This is when Lord Krishna goes to the abode of Varuṇa, and We will come back to this picture. So here is a nice picture. Nanda Maharaj entering the river Yamuna, as you can see, and trying to do some chanting some mantras. And the Gopas are standing guard. So what happens is that Nanda Maharaj enters the river to break the fast or to take a bath and then break the fast. And the Gopas are standing and waiting. And then this one servant of Varunadev is the devata of the waters. So therefore of the Yamuna river as well. So this servant was keeping guard, like a security guard who keeps, watching who is entering the campus, if any trespassers. So he thought Nanda Maharaj is a trespasser because it is not yet time for people to enter the Yamuna. Only after in the Brahma Muhurt you come and take bath. So it is not yet time. So he captures Nanda Maharaj and takes him to Varunadev to say, what's I brought this trespasser. So he thought Nanda Maharaj was a trespasser. And then when Nanda Maharaj had entered the river, he wanted to take a dip, full dip. That is not shown in this picture or this cartoon or whatever, this hand painting. And the Gopas who were standing guard, they got scared. Where is Nanda Maharaj? So they cried loudly and for Krishna to come and help. And we discussed last time why they themselves did not jump in, why they called for Krishna. Summary, the short reason is because they depend on Krishna. They know Krishna's saving will be more effective than our saving. So obviously you want to do the best possible. It's not that you just want to show your power or your own machoism or something like that. You want to do the best, and the best option is always to call Krishna. So they called Krishna, and Krishna immediately came. He jumped into the water and went to the abode of Varunadev. And when he reached there, he was very nicely worshipped by Varunadev. So that is where we will begin our discussion today. So we will start from verse number 5. So yeah, this is 4, and then 5th verse we will begin. So Varunadev offers a short set of prayers. So let me share my iPad screen now. Okay, so now we will see Varunadev's prayer. So very short prayer. Varunadev, we discussed, is very cognizant that Parayana time is going fast. So he doesn't want the Parayana time to finish. He wants to release Nanda Maharaj. So he offers these beautiful prayers to Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna takes his father, Nanda Maharaj, back to Vraj. So we will see these prayers of Varunadev. Very sweet prayers and a lot of learning. A lot of our acharyas give some commentaries as to what's going on in the mind and thoughts of Lord Krishna, Varunadev, and so on. So we can get some nice understanding from all this. And it's a matter of relishment. So let us see. Shri Varuna Uvacha. So four verses. This is verse number, I didn't put numbers this time. So this is verse number 5. Okay, and then 5 to 8 are the prayers. Shri Varuna Uvacha. Adya me nibhrito deho Daivyartho digatah prabho Tvat pada bhajo Bhagawan Avapuhu paramadbhavan advanaha. So Shri Varunadev begins to say, Adya me nibhrito deho, that today my deha has become nibhritaha. Nibhritaha means completely all the contamination has been removed. I have been successfully transported, or my journey is over. So my journey is complete, or my all the journey of washing away of my karmic baggage, that whole journey today has finished. And second thing he says, that dvaiva artho adhigatah prabho, that the artha of life, the purpose of life, adhigata means I have attained. So I have attained the purpose of my life. So that's what it means. So first of all, he is saying that today my journey is complete and I have attained the purpose of my life, which means, and all this is happening because Krishna has come here. So because Krishna is here, this has happened. So we must realize that the devatas are also waiting for Krishna's darshan. It is not easy to get Krishna's darshan even for the devatas. It's a very rare occurrence. And Varuna Dev today has got that. And they consider that the purpose of their life, which means the highest thing that they can attain in their life. So we must understand that even though the devatas have so much more than us, we keep running after whatever wealth or so many things in material life, which the devatas already have. Much of it they have. But still they know that this is the highest purpose. And then the next thing, once they see Bhagavan, or once he saw Bhagavan, what did he do? Tvat pada bhajo Bhagavan. Pada bhajo. He did pada bhajan. So immediately he started washing Krishna's feet. So that is something that he did. And so first of all, so this is a very sweet thing that let me see who brought it out. Of course, Sri Jiva Goswami brings out that in the case of Varuna Dev, he got the darshan of Bhagavan. Let's finish the last line and then we will come. And that avapuhu param advanaha, that I have achieved a param destination, a destination which is beyond everything that is material. So param advanaha means param or supreme destination. I have attained the supreme destination. So several things to be noted here. The first thing is that the devatas are also in the material world. And they are also waiting to go to the spiritual world. So this material world, even he is Varuna Dev, he's clearly saying, I am bound in this material world. I am in this. The last line is that advanaha means in this material existence. But beyond param advanaha means something I have attained today which is beyond the material existence. So even the devatas are bound in the material existence. But we see that by the, it was a causeless mercy of Bhagavan. That is a main point or a very important point to understand. What did Varuna Dev do to have darshan of Bhagavan? He was doing nothing. Actually, his servant made a mistake. He did something, even though it was his servant. It's the opposite. We try to do favorable things to get darshan of Bhagavan. We do bhakti, we do seva, we do so many things. He actually ended up committing an offense. Now, can you imagine that, to get darshan of Bhagavan after committing an offense? Not possible. You're going in the opposite direction. But we will see that this is the utmost mercy of Bhagavan. This is called causeless mercy. Causeless. There was no cause. We can even in this case, I am personally inventing a new word, anti-cause. Anti-cause mercy. You did something that should not attract mercy of Bhagavan, but you still get it. So Bhagavan is so kind that he gives his mercy even when you don't deserve it, or you do things which are opposite. But what do devotees do? The important point that Jiva Goswami points out is that for this mercy is available of Bhagavan. Bhagavan will carry you. But the moment you see Bhagavan, you must do bhajan. You must realize the opportunity. Many people get the opportunity, but they don't take it. You must realize the opportunity. And immediately he started doing Pada Bhajan, Pada Sevanam. It is one of the 9 Navadha Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakhyam, Dasyam, Atmanivedanam. So Pada Sevanam is one of the Navadha Bhakti steps, and immediately he did Tvada Pada Bhajo Bhagavan. So he is washing the feet of Lord Krishna. So realizing the opportunity and grabbing it and acting on it. Acting on it immediately, not waiting. Because if you wait, the opportunity might go away. So immediately he acted on this opportunity to do seva of Bhagavan. So these are some of the points from this verse. And this verse basically is showing the position of Varun Dev. So the position of devatas or demigods. So what are the points that are being made by Varun Dev about the position of demigods? That he's saying that today my material body, this deha, has become successful, nibhrito. Adya me. Adya means aj, today. Me, deha, my body has become nibhrito, has achieved its purpose of life. Dvai vartho adhigataha prabho. It has reached its ultimate destination. And therefore, I am worshipping your lotus feet out of the causeless mercy that you have shown by making me reach that destination. So even the devatas are subservient or servants of Krishna. That is completely established. The devatas are in the material world. They are waiting for the opportunity to get out of this material world. And only by mercy of Bhagavan, even the devatas can also get out, or even, not without the mercy of Bhagavan, even the devatas cannot get out of the material world. So what to speak of us? So we must do seva of Bhagavan, we must do bhakti of Bhagavan, we must depend on his mercy, keep waiting for his mercy, and only Bhagavan will take us out of this material world. So these are the points for us, but this is clearly showing the position of the demigods, the devatas. Okay, so I'm seeing the notes here. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go to verse number 6. Okay, we'll read the translation. Okay. Krishna Murari Prabhuji, please read the translation if you can. You are muted.
Yes. Sri Varuna said, "Now my body has fulfilled its function. Indeed, now the goal of my life is achieved. O Lord, those who accept your lotus feet, O personality of Godhead, can transcend the part of material existence."
Very nice. Thank you. So we will go to verse number 6. So this is the second verse of the prayer of Varun Dev. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Brahmane Paramatmane Nayatra Shruyate Maya Loka Srishti Vikalpana. So Namastubhyam Bhagavate. So now in the previous verse, it was mainly showing the position of demigods. So what are the points that were showing the position of demigods? He was telling about himself. It's very rare to get your darshan. We are bound in the material world. We are waiting to get out. The purpose of my life is to get out of the material world. And by doing your bhakti or by washing your feet, we can get out of the material world. Everything is about devatas. What is their position and how can they get out? Verse number 6 is showing the position of Bhagavan. Okay. So if ever you have to use any verse from Bhagavatam to show the position of demigods, you can use the previous verse. It is from the mouth of demigods itself. So like last week we were having discussion about position of women. It's a complicated topic in Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Prabhupada makes some strong points about women. And we discussed a very nice article by Vishakha Mataji. And so it is best to hear about the position of women from a woman. When they are speaking, then it is like, then they are, expressing. So we get more convinced. Similarly, when Bhagavan is speaking about demigods, one can say, oh, Bhagavan will always say demigods are smaller. But if demigods are saying I am smaller, then you can believe it. The demigod himself is acknowledging that he is smaller. Then it adds more weightage to the statement. So that's what the previous verse was doing. And plus, this verse is adding the contrast. It is saying, yes, we are smaller and you are bigger and you are great. So I am small, you are great. Both the points are coming up here. So this verse is glorifying Bhagavan. It is showing the position of Bhagavan, but coming from the mouth of demigods. So it is important as well to see what demigods say about Bhagavan Krishna. So he says, Namastubhyam Bhagavate. So Namastubhyam means obeisances, Tubhyam to you. Bhagavate. So Bhagavate means Bhagavan. Bhagawan Sri Krishna. So of course, Sri Krishna himself has arrived. And therefore, he is first taking the name of Bhagavan. And then he is giving later on the two lower attributes of Bhagavan, which is Brahman and Paramatma. Brahmane Paramatmane. So these are the other two aspects. So we are not going to have another discussion on Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. We have had that discussion many times in Bhagavad Gita and at other times. And I can see all of you are devotees here who have joined. So, that understanding is assumed, the whole discussion of Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdyate, the three levels of understanding the absolute truth. And then he says that very important point, again, our Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sridhar Swami, they all bring out this point that he says, Na yatra shruyate maya, loka srishti vikalpana. So, na yatra shruyate, na yatra means it does not. To you, yatra means to whom, he's talking in third person. Shruyate maya, that so shruyate means the shruti says. So which means in our Vedic understanding, the shruti is the topmost. So the Vedas say, that's what Varuna Dev is saying. The Vedas say that na yatra maya, that this maya or you, the Bhagavan, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavate, Brahman, Paramatma, you are untouched by Maya. Loka Shrishti Vikalpana, that this Maya which arranges the Loka Shrishti, which arranges the creation and the whole process of creation, maintenance, destruction, etc. The whole thing, the creation, etc. of this Loka. Loka means the material world. So what is the significance of these two lines? So first of all, there are 3 points coming out here. One is that the absolute truth has 3 understandings. Now, levels are not mentioned here. Levels are in other places in Bhagavatam. So, Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman. These are the 3 that are shown here. And who is in front of him right now? It is Bhagawan, Bhagawan Sri Krishna. And then he's saying that all these, the literal meaning would be that all of these or none of these are touched by Maya. Though Maya, so that is the second point, Maya does not touch the absolute truth in any form. Now, what is the core mayavadi teaching or mayavadi understanding? Who can say? How do you define mayavadi understanding? Yes, Shamlila Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, so their understanding is that we are all essentially one, and like Sri Krishna or Ramji are all also touched by Maya, but they have more good qualities than us. So if we become like more sattvic or come to that mode, then we can also become them.
Okay, so now you mentioned many points, but there is in that everything that you mentioned, there is one core point which is the most offensive, and why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and we and Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas completely deride and criticize the Mayavadi philosophy. What is that point? The one core point.
That Bhagavan is touched by Maya.
Yes. Bhagavan is Brahman, which is pure, plus Maya. A transformation of Brahman by its connection or contamination or mixture, whatever you want to say, with Maya is Bhagavan form that we see, Rama, Krishna, and so on. Because they are limited. They say it's a limited. Don't you say it is limited? Krishna is not here right now. Krishna is here right now. So many things are there. Like Gajendra, Vishnu was not there. He had to call and Vishnu came running. What does it mean? He was not there before. After some time, he came on his Garuda. When Draupadi was being disrobed, Krishna was not there. When she called, Krishna came. So therefore, that makes Krishna limited. He's not there sometimes, he's there sometimes. But Brahman is all pervading everything. So these are the expansions, but the core understanding is that Bhagavan form is Brahman plus Maya. But this is saying that none of these are ever touched by Maya, which means that Bhagavan also is never touched by Maya. He's not a transformation of Maya or, of Brahman by adding Maya as a catalyst. Never touched. So this is another beautiful praman that there is no tinge of Maya in Bhagavan form, which is what Varuna Dev is seeing right in front of his eyes. So that's a very important point that is brought out here. So the 3 points are, first of all, there are 3 understandings, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. And the second point is that Maya touches, or Maya is the cause of the creation of the material world. That's the second point. But that same Maya, which touches everything around us, has absolutely no capacity to touch Bhagavan. Bhagavan is completely independent, Swarat, Chartheshwa Bhigya Swarat. He is completely independent from anything material, and Maya is the material energy, and there is no touching or no contamination within Bhagavan of anything that is Maya, whether it is Sattva and definitely Rajas or Tamas. So these are some of the points. So this is how Varun Dev is glorifying Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Okay. So, and he is also saying that Shruti is saying this. So that's another important point, that the same Mayavadis depend on Shrutis to misinterpret those Shrutis and say Bhagavan is a alteration of Brahman by being touched by Maya. He's saying, no, the Shrutis say that Bhagavan is never touched by Maya. So he is completely defeating the mayavadi argument by referring the Shrutis itself. Shrutis are the topmost. They are the Vedas and the Upanishads. So the Shrutis are the highest praman. Okay. So those are the points mentioned by our acharyas. And the larger point is that it is showing the position of Bhagavan as quoted by devatas, as quoted by Varun Dev, to be much higher than himself. Okay, so let us see. Sapan Prabhu, could you read the translation here?
Hare Krishna. My obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Soul, within whom there is no trace of the illusory energy which orchestrates the creation of this world.
Yeah, thank you. So, you can see all the points. Namastubhyam, my obeisances to you. Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Absolute Truth is Brahman, that is what's being translated as the Absolute Truth. And Paramatmane, the Supreme Soul. And within whom there is no trace of the illusory energy. So there is no trace of na yatra shruyate maya. So the word shruyate has not been translated, or at least in the commentaries, it is mentioned that shruyate is referring to the shrutis. Or it is said that as heard from the shrutis, shruyate means, actually it is there in the, no, it is not there in the word by word either, but I'll have to look in one of the commentaries. It is mentioned that shruyate means as the shrutis say. So, and then loka shrishti vikalpana. This maya is the one that touches the material world, which is orchestrating the creation and all that of the material world. So this is the glorification of Varun Dev of Bhagavan. Yes, Sapan Prabhu.
So I just had a question from what you were saying in the previous verse. So you were implying that Varuna's desire is for liberation, but one of the points that we brought out thus far is one doesn't need liberation to be with Bhagavan or Krishna. So why bring this point out? Because one can serve Krishna without necessarily attaining liberation, kind of thing.
Yeah, so the answer is straightforward, that Varun Dev is fully familiar with the Aishwarya of Bhagavan, with the greatness of Bhagavan, and he knows that Bhagavan can offer liberation, and it is perfectly fine to ask Bhagavan for liberation. So the statement that the devotees, the pure bhaktas, the ones who are with that feeling of love for Bhagavan, they don't want liberation. As long as liberation is okay, it's not like they actively reject liberation. That is not the case. But what they really want to do is to serve Bhagavan, whether it is in the spiritual world or in the material world. The location of service is immaterial to the devotees who love Bhagavan, to the bhaktas. But Varun Dev is not purely in that category. We discussed some of it last time, otherwise he would have trained his people, his servants better and so on. But the demigods are generally in the mood of awe and reverence, Aishwarya of Bhagavan, and they want to get liberated and be in the liberated state and then be happy there in association of Bhagavan. It is called Sukha Aishwarya moksha. It is not Prema Seva Uttara moksha. It's called Sukha Aishwarya Uttara moksha. So I'll show you a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam which brings this out very nicely. So who can tell me what would be an appropriate verse?
Prabhuji, from the third canto.
Very nice. Keep going.
It is basically that they reject all 5 types of liberation if there's no service involved, but I can't remember the verse number.
Very nice. So 3:29:13. It's a very important verse. It came in the test also for those who gave the test. Very important verse. Salokya sarishti samipya sarupyam aikatvam apyota diyamanam nah grihnanti vinamat sevanam jana. So please try to understand this verse carefully. That these five types of liberation: Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, and Ekatvam. Those two are mixed in that one word in the Sandhi. So these are the 5 types of liberation. Diyamanam na grihnanti. That even if I give, Bhagavan is saying this verse, even if I give any of these 5 types of liberation to my devotee, this he's talking about is about his devotee, na grihnanti, they don't take it, vina mat sevanam, without my seva, which means they are okay to take it as long as it is a package deal. But the mandatory clause in the package deal is Bhagavan's seva. Then if there is liberation or not, that is secondary. The primary mandatory requirement in the package is Bhagavan seva. If there is no Bhagavan seva, somebody else would jump at the offer of being liberated, whether seva or not. That becomes the primary clause, liberation. But for devotees, the primary clause is seva. So this is a very important verse. Jana here is referring to the pure devotees. Actually, you'll see here, Srila Prabhupada has just translated it like that. Jana means pure devotees. And if you look at the verse before and after, it will become clear that the context is talking about pure devotees. Kapila Dev is talking to his mother Devahuti about in this verse. So that is not the position of Varuna Dev fully. So that's why he is saying about that. And you will see another twist in the story a little bit later. But does that help, Sapan Prabhu?
Yes, I just have a follow-up. So the reason he's able to recognize Krishna and the Gopas are not able to is because he has divine eyes, or he's a devata?
Okay, divine is also an interesting question. I have been a little bit reading about this. We will cover it if you come to the 11th chapter discussion of Bhagavad Gita, where I can reveal it actually today itself. Very interesting. One of the Bhagavad Gita, we are lucky to have so many commentaries. So one of the commentaries I was reading, so there, if you remember, do you remember what is there in 11th chapter, Prabhu? Bhagavad Gita course.
Yes. I mean, it's following all the bhakti chapters. I don't recall offhand. But...
It is the Vishwarupa Yoga, or the form.
Okay.
So Arjuna asks Lord Krishna to give him a view of the universal form. Okay. And what does Krishna say that before that?
I'll give it to you, but you have to have these special vision.
Yes, divine eyes. All right. So it appears that Arjuna is unqualified yet, and he needs to be given these divine eyes to be able to see that universal form. So which verse is that? I think it's the 6th verse. Or I'm looking at the Bhagavad Gita right now. Anyway.
It's the 8th verse, Prabhuji.
8th verse. Yeah, thank you. Divyam dadami te chakshu. So I will give you this Divya Chakshu. All right. Now, one of the commentators, I forget which one, brings out a beautiful point that it's not an upgrade of vision. It's actually a downgrade of vision. Because Arjuna is he's a pure devotee. And he is seeing the form of Śrī Kṛṣṇa, which Krishna will say later, that this form that you are seeing right now in the 11th chapter towards the end is actually very, very rare to see, the two-handed form. So, and Arjuna is able to see that. Of course, Duryodhana is able to see that too, but that's a whole different discussion, that his vision of Krishna is completely different from the vision that Arjuna has. So, but Arjuna is a pure devotee and he's able to see the true Bhagavan in the form of Sri Krishna, and his vision has to be downgraded. Because unless Krishna downgrades his vision, he will not be able to see the universal form. So he is going to put a filter of Maya, of the material, a material filter in front of his pure devotional eyes, so that he can see the material, the universal form is how the Lord is present in the material world. And to be able to see Bhagavan in that form, he needs a downgrade of vision. So, like you asked, that does Varuna have a higher vision and the Gopas have lower vision? They cannot see. It's actually, our commentators bring out this difference, that it's actually the higher vision that Arjuna had, and he had to be lowered to a lower level to be able to see the universal form. So these are the relishments of the devotees. This is the thing that is there in our Shastra, that it can be interpreted in different ways. And therefore, in a given sampradaya, we take an understanding that is given by the acharyas of that sampradaya. And when we follow those understandings and those teachings, that leads to complete perfection. So, or complete success. So we are following the bhakti tradition and we are following the commentaries and teachings of our acharyas, and there is absolutely no fault in that. There is no one single the understanding. This point should become very clear. Okay, there is no the understanding. And as if that one understanding overrides all other understandings. That is not the case. That's not how our Vedic scriptures work. Does that help, Sarpan
Yes,
Prabhu?
yes, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So where were we? Yes, Krishna Maharaj Prabhu, did you have your hand raised? I saw.
How demigods, their guru is Brihaspati. Why would not they ask for love of God? It means whether they are not aware of pure devotional service, one, or they are aware of pure devotional service because they have the best possible, but they don't want to follow that pure devotional service. They feel, no, we can follow this.
Yeah, great question. And the mode in which, they are basically lower than pure devotees. They are afflicted with the mode of goodness, with the sattviki bhava, or which is material in nature, and therefore they have not fully transcended the three gunas, especially the sattva guna. So the devatas are in that sattvic guna mode, and the teachings and everything that they are getting are also in that mode. Now, it's not that the pure teachings of bhakti are not present there, but they are present there, but they are not predominant. So when the devatas get reminded about those, then they go like, oh, right, yes. So, and we see that in the Bhagavatam, in the prayers of even Brahmaji, and definitely Indra, and here these 4 verses are prayers of Varun Dev. So there are these devatas whom we see how their understanding kind of temporarily gets elevated, but then again you can say this is the problem of association, the environment which they are in. So the association of others and the environment of the higher planets, where there is so much opulence and so much happy pleasure, sense gratification, that it makes you forget. So it is the influence. One can realize that, hey, even after realizing and seeing Bhagavan, one can fall back, and how much association can cause the damage. So one should probably, that is the teaching to be taken from that. That association is so important. And that is why it is said that better than Brahmaji says, I want to take birth on this planet in Vraja. There is no use of that great birth that I had, so that I can remain in the association of the Vrajvasis, and some dust will rub on my body and I will get their mood. So that is what we should pray for. So yes, the devatas are afflicted, so to say, with the sattva guna, mode of goodness, and that is the teachings they get. But it's not that they are bereft of those teachings. They stay in our back. Look at ourselves. We have those teachings, but it takes a back seat. Sometimes when we are with some great personalities, some great devotees, it comes up. And I have seen it has come up in my heart also, when some really very senior devotees giving some very deep instruction. I feel like, what am I doing in the material world? I should really just quit and do this all the time. That feeling has come in my heart, but hey, I have not quit yet, because when I walk out, it dilutes. So
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
okay, now we will go to the 7th verse. So these are the 2 verses of glorification. Now, little bit of logistics. 7 and 8 are more logistics, so to say, more basic matters. So Varun Dev is explaining the situation, what happened, yet he is not throwing his servant under the bus. He is taking responsibility. He's being a very good leader. Leader takes responsibility of the mistakes of their servants. They don't throw them under the bus. So what is saying? Ajanata mamakena mudhena karya vedina anitoyam tava pita tad bhavan kshantum arhati. So what it means? Ajanata mamakena, that this person, mamakena means my servant. So my servant is ajanata, is ignorant. He is a fool. Mudha, mudhena. So mudhena akarya vedina. Akarya vedina means he doesn't know how the intricacies of the Veda. Akarya, what is not to be done. So he knows only half the Vedas. He knows what is to be done, but not what is not to be done. Kind of, he knows half of it. So he knew if anybody enters the water at the wrong time, so to say at night, you must capture them. But he didn't know that there are exceptions to the rule, that when the Dwadashi is very short. So there are 2 problems with this. He very clearly, I think, Sridhar Swami brings it out. What is this akarya vedina? Which means that he did not know the fine print, the exception clauses. He knew the main clause. That is why he captured. But there are always exceptions, as you will know. You are a lawyer, Krishna Maharaj Prabhu. But there are sub clauses. So good lawyer knows the sub clauses and he uses those to win the case. If the opposite lawyer, isn't it? He knows only the main clause. I have seen some movies or something where the hero is the smarter lawyer, and then he says, hey, but this action clause number
Yes.
so, and then the judge says, yes, you are right. So yeah. So there are 2 clauses which this servant did not know. Sridhar Swami points out, I think that is Sridhar Swami. One is the more obvious clause of a short Dwadashi. When the Dwadashi is short, by the time it is time to take bath in the morning, Trayodashi will start. So it is okay to take bath before that at night. And second thing, these rules do not apply to pure devotees. Pure devotees like Nanda Maharaj is pure devotee. And these rules are only meant for those who are, following the Vidhi Marg. The pure devotees are above the rules and regulations. So he did not recognize the position of Nanda Maharaj. And even if it was not Dwadashi, first of all, Nanda Maharaj was perfectly following the rules. And he was following this sub-clause, which the servant did not know. But even if he was not following the sub-clause, because he's a pure devotee, everything he's doing is correct. So that clause also should be known. You should know who you are arresting. And if that person is somebody to whom the rules don't apply, you should keep the rule book aside. Same thing happened in one more case where the rule book had to be kept aside. Which famous pastime is it? Where the rule book had to be kept aside.
Durvasmani, Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish, yes, you're very correct. But there, so he broke the fast as well as didn't break the fast. Correct. Okay, very nice. One more then. I am thinking of one more. Where there was a big discussion about, hey, we followed the rules.
Ajamil.
Yes, very nice. Ajamil.
Ajamil.
Yes. So the Yamadutas, they were following the rules. They had the whole log book of his crimes, of his sins. And based on that, they were legitimately bringing Ajamil's, body or his soul back to Yamaraj. But because he took the name of Narayana, it was a sub-clause, which the Yamadutas didn't know. And then Yamaraj taught them, gave them a long lesson as to that one who takes the name of Bhagawan, don't bring them to me. So he did not know the sub-clause in two ways. One is the Dwadashi clause and one is the pure devotee clause. Then Anito Yam Tava Pita, and that he brought your father here, this person. So we'll see this person, he says. This person, Yam means he's like pointed, he brought him here. So he didn't say Nanda Maharaj, but he pointed, and we'll see that there's a small, nice point about it. He's pointing to his father, Yam Tava Pita, who happens to be your father. Tad Bhavan Kshantum Arhati. Therefore, you should kindly forgive, or he's saying, forgive both of us, him as well as me. So he is taking responsibility for his servant's mistake, and he's asking forgiveness not just for himself. He's not throwing his servant under the bus. He's saying, please forgive us, both of us. So that is because you are very kind and you are very compassionate. So these are the points that are being mentioned here. So let's see, so some more points are there. Yeah. Yeah, so I want to show this nice picture here. I found these pictures. Where is that? Yeah, here. So this was the picture of Nanda Maharaj entering the Yamuna river at night. And this is the picture of Varun Dev worshipping Lord Krishna here. And Nanda Maharaj is standing there and watching. But here he is standing, but Shri Jiva Goswami says actually that is not the case. He is actually sitting on the throne of Varun Dev. He gave him his own throne even before Krishna arrived. So Varun Dev had made Nanda Maharaj sit very nicely on his own throne, and he took the lower position. And he goes on to say to Śrī Kṛṣṇa that couple of things. When he said to him, so he pointed to him and he pointed to that throne on which Nanda Maharaj was sitting. So he recognized Nanda Maharaj even before Krishna arrived. All right. When the servant captured Nanda Maharaj and brought him, immediately he recognized who this personality is. So couple of two very important points. One is I'll mention these 2 points. So what should be the normal reaction? Arey Baba, whom did you capture? So now what should have Nanda Maharaj, Varuna Dev done? As soon as he realized ki we captured the wrong person, what would you do?
Forgiveness. Sorry.
Huh?
Sorry. First say sorry, apology that I have done a big mistake, and then give him the biggest respect, give him all the offerings which he can give for the mistake done, and then send him with a lot of affection and
send him
then
back.
rectify, reform. Yes, reform. Yes.
And send back. So
Yes.
one expectation could have been that Varun Dev would have done all this quickly and sent Nanda Maharaj back. Why he didn't do that? Why Krishna had to wake up, hear the cries of the Gopas, come, dive into the river, go to Varun Dev's Varun Lok, and go and rescue Nanda Maharaj? Why in the meantime Varun Dev did not return Nanda Maharaj himself? So there are two reasons. Yes.
Varun Dev took this opportunity to get Krishna. He said, Krishna will anyways not come like that. This is a very good opportunity. Let Nanda Maharaj be there. He will automatically come and I'll get darshan of Krishna.
Very nice. Exceptionally, that is correct. So that is one reason. Okay. So he knows, if I go and return quickly, maybe, Krishna is not there yet. Now he can escape the wrath of Krishna. Before the big boss arrives, you rectify the mistake. All right. So that is a good policy or a good strategy. Before the mistake is discovered, you cover it up. Not cover it up, you rectify it and make everything fine. So it's never known to the big boss. But Varun Dev knows that this is my one chance to see Krishna. And he is willing to risk everything to just see Krishna. That is why it is said sometimes the chastisement of the spiritual master is also something very cherished by the disciples. A spiritual master at least said something personally. Otherwise, everything is only general instruction. Chastisement is not general. Chastisement is personal. You rascal, you did this. Why you did? So the disciples relish any personal, interaction with the Guru. Similarly, Varun Dev saw this as one chance and he was hoping that Krishna will come, and Krishna came. Now, it's not like he would have kept, but he kept Nanda Maharaj, as he's showing to Śrī Kṛṣṇa very respectfully. It's not like he kept him in a jail or anything like that. And he worshipped him, made him very comfortable. And he knew that Krishna is very kind. He is Bhakta Vatsala. And he will not show his wrath, especially in front of his father. He wants to be nice in front of the father. And so he took that chance. All right. There is another reason, very nice reason. Now, the scientific minded people will appreciate this. Anybody can guess with that hint? Yes, Shamlila Mataji.
Prabhuji, maybe not scientific minded, but I was thinking about something else. Like yesterday we were talking about in the Gita class, Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So maybe he thought, okay, I will listen to Krishna Katha from Nanda Baba and get that relishment, because nobody else can give him what Nanda Baba can.
Very nice. That reason is not in the commentary, but it sounds perfectly valid, that he wanted to take association of pure devotees. Very nice. He's in this materialistic, opulent, and we just discussed, that Sangha at Varun Loka is very opulent and all. Where does Varun Dev get opportunity to get association of a pure devotee? So he's just trying to elongate it. Very nice. Anything else from scientific side? We have discussed these topics before, so it's not new. Okay, let me share. So, as you know, remember the pastime of Brahmaji and what is that? Kudmi and what's his other name?
The relativity of time.
Exactly. So, relativity of time. So, on Earth planet, time flows at one speed. On the higher planets, time flows faster. At Brahmaloka, which is even higher than the Swarga or the Devatas planets, time flows even higher, even faster. So in the 9th canto, there is this story of Raivata. His daughter is Revati. And Raivat, whose other name is Kukudmi, takes his daughter there for getting suggestion from Brahmaji about who to marry my daughter to. And 20 minutes he waits for Brahmaji because he's busy. Then Brahmaji tells, by the time you were waiting, the earth has, millions of years have passed on earth. So then he tells Lord Krishna and Balramji are about to appear on earth, and you take your daughter immediately and marry her to Balramji. That's how Revati became the wife of Balramji. So anyway, the duality of time, 20 minutes on Brahmaji's planet resulted in millions of years on Earth planet. Similarly, on Varun Loka, Varun Dev was about to return. He was doing little seva of Nanda Baba and was about to return, like maybe in like 2 minutes. But on Earth side, outside, many minutes or an hour or whatever, longer time passed. And in that much time, the Gopas got scared. They called Krishna. Krishna came and he dived into the water. But in Varun Lok, only small time passed. And that is why Varunadev is, reciting these verses quickly, because he knows in the 5 minutes it will take me to recite, outside on earth, many hours will pass. And Dwadashi will get converted to Trayodashi, and it will not be nice. So couple of minutes here and long time there. So that is the other understanding. So acharyas bring out all these points nicely, and we can relish, we can get reminded of these other pastimes from other places in the Bhagavatam. So yeah, so these are the points. He's pointing to Nanda Maharaj and saying that, I treated your father very respectfully, and please don't be angry at me, and please forgive both of us. Kshantum arhati, that you should forgive both of us. Please accept our mistake. Okay, so these are the points. Let's see. Okay, so that is. Anything else on this? We'll go to next verse, 616. Let me share the verses again. Creating the app right in the middle of the presentation. Interesting. Okay, I will share Veda base then. Okay, looks like it's done updating. Okay. Okay, let us see. Shamlila Mataji, could you please read this then?
Ji Prabhuji. Your father, who is sitting here, was brought to me by a foolish, ignorant servant of mine, who did not understand his proper duty. Therefore, please forgive us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So, 8th verse. Mamapyanugraham Krishna kartum arhasya sheshadrik Govinda niyatamesha pitate pitravatsala. So in this verse, it's a continuation and the last verse that he is again logistically, but he is saying that please give me your mercy. He's extending the argument or extending the asking for forgiveness. And so he's saying, Mamapi Anugraham Krishna. Please show your forgiveness. Please give us your Anugraha. Anugraha means your mercy. Oops. Please show your mercy on us. Kartum arhasya asheshadrik. That asheshadrik. Drik means you can see. Ashesha means everything. So what he means by this, you can see everything. You can see that it was an innocent mistake of my foolish servant. So, when the committer of the offense is ignorant, the law generally, forgives at least first mistake or when something like that. So innocent mistake, you don't get a harsh punishment. Sometimes you even get, you go, what's that? You go free. So he's saying, please show your mercy and kartum arhasi, please give us your mercy, knowing that this was an innocent mistake. You know everything, how it happened. It wasn't that we were having malicious intention. And then he says, calls Krishna as Govinda. What is the meaning of Govinda? Govinda means giver of pleasure to the senses. Just like Arjun calls Govinda, Krishna as Govinda in the first chapter, that, please give me pleasure by allowing me to not fight. I want to go away from this battlefield. You take me away. And so that is why he calls him Govinda. So here also, Varuna Dev is saying, Govinda, please make me happy by forgiving me. And Niyatam Esha, please take away or please take your father away. Pita te Pitravatsala. That you are Pitravatsala. You are like Bhakta Vatsala means the one who is very dedicated or very compassionate to his devotees. Pitravatsala, same thing, that you love your father so much that please, so he's invoking that feeling in Krishna. Hey, you love your father so much. How can you be harsh in front of your father? You have to be nice in front of your father. So please, give me happiness. He's giving all these reasons in this verse for attracting Krishna's mercy. So please take him away and please forgive us. So these are the points. Yeah. And Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings out a very nice point. So Varun Dev is the devata of Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean, isn't it? But he is saying that I am Aparadha Sindhu. But you are Kshama Sindhu. We are both Sindhus. I happen to be Aparadha Sindhu, which means an offender, great offender. Whereas you are Kshama Sindhu, which is you are a great forgiver. So a great forgiver should definitely forgive even though the offender is very great. So in that way he is saying. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Sanskrit commentary wrote it in a very nice way, poetic way, that you are Kshama Sindhu, I am Aparadha Sindhu. Your Sindhu is bigger than my Sindhu. Therefore, you should forgive me. Even though we know how big the ocean is, but Krishna's Kshama Sindhu happens to be bigger than my Sindhu. So he's saying one Sindhu should override the other Sindhu. So these are the points that come up in this verse. All right. Could somebody kindly read this one? Fourth one.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
O Krishna, O seer of everything, please give your mercy even to me. O Govinda, you are most affectionate to your father. Please take him home. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Meera Mataji. All right. So we can, it's almost 6:30. We can stop here. But I want to leave you with one question. Okay, you can think about it for the next week. Now, next week, we may or may not have class. That's a different matter. But think about this. So what happens after this? Okay, so I have another picture here to show. I got all these pictures about this pastime. So let me show. Yeah, so this is the picture. Next picture. So then Nanda Maharaj is very happy after he reaches Vraj. And, you know, he is somebody who cannot keep any secret in his stomach, you know. Vrajvasis are so simple. And in the previous pastime, if you remember, they all saw Krishna lift the Govardhan hill. So lifting a hill is a big, big thing. But still it can be explained. A very, very, very powerful person can lift it. Okay, Hanumanji lifted the whole hill, mountain, when he brought Sanjeevani booty, correct? Sometimes big, big demons also lift hills. Okay, it can be explained that Krishna lifted the hill. Maybe he got the energy of Bhagawan, but he is not Bhagawan. All that discussion, detailed discussion happened at that time. But just few days later, now there is no doubt. Nanda Maharaj directly saw Varun Dev. Now they all understand who is Varun Dev. And he is addressing Krishna as Bhagavan, Brahman, Paramatma, and all these Govinda. There is no doubt in Nanda Maharaj's mind that this person is not as good as Bhagavan or as powerful as Bhagavan. He is Bhagavan. This was like the final moment of realization for Nanda Maharaj. That, oh my God, in my house we have Bhagavan. Now what to do? So he's happy also. He's very happy. But this whole, more than that, he's like curious and like a child, you know, who just discovered that, you know, my father owns a toy store. Imagine the child who figures out my father is, you know, he has not just a factory of toys. The child will be like massively, he'll be on the, what you call, on the 7th moon. So he cannot digest this truth in his stomach, and he goes and tells all the Vrajvasis, you know what? My child, Krishna, is Bhagavan. So he's telling all revealing the secret. And what do the Vrajvasis do? Now remember, we have learned that Vrajvasis are purest devotees, isn't it? It doesn't get more pure than that. Now, what is the response of the Vrajvasis? Oh, really? Your child is Bhagavan? You saw the whole, you know, the opulence of Bhagavan? We also want to see the opulence of Bhagavan. When can we see the opulence of Bhagavan? We are very interested. You know, it's like rubbing their palms and getting excited to see the opulence of Bhagavan. So the question is, we have learned all this while that Vrajvasis are pure devotees. They are not at all interested in any opulence. We have even seen pastimes of that fruit seller who was in Vraj, who used to come and sell fruits. And Krishna filled her basket with jewels and she threw them away. He did not want the jewels. So they don't want any opulence, we have read. They are very simple. They only want Krishna, not his opulence. They just want to love Krishna. All this thing How come this thought is coming in the mind of the Vrajvasis? Huh? Your son is the same Narayan? You saw the spiritual world? We also want to see how it is like. We have never seen spiritual world. It must be really interesting, must be really dazzling, very beautiful. We want to see. So how to understand this mood of Vrajvasis, which seems very different from the Vrajvasis that we have heard about, we know, and how to understand. So that will be the question to deal with next time. And there's a very, very sweet and deep philosophical answer about this, which we will uncover next time. So you can think about it. All right. So I will leave you. I hope the homework assignment is clear. And you can read forward in the verses. Maybe I can show the verses here itself. We can quickly read through some of the verses. And then Bhagawan shows them the spiritual world. Wait, where is the share? Okay, here we have share. Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 28th chapter. And we will see. So we covered till 8th verse, which was the prayers. Please take him home. That's what the last point was. Now, Sri Shukadev Goswami said, so they returned. Their relatives were overjoyed to see them. They returned. And Nanda described all this to his fellow cowherd men. How he was astonished to see for the first time the great opulence of Varuna, and also to see how Varuna had offered such humble respect to Krishna. So Nanda Maharaj described all of this. And hearing, so he described all that. Now the 11th verse is the one that is I'm talking about. Hearing about Krishna's pastimes with Varuna, the cowherd men considered Krishna must be the Supreme Lord, and their minds, O King Parikshit, were filled with eagerness. They thought, will the Supreme Lord bestow upon us his transcendental abode? So not only so let's see what is the Sanskrit here. Yeah. Yeah, na swagatim. So not only they want to see actually it's even more. So I said it little incorrect. It's not that they want to just see the spiritual world. They want to go there. Swagatim, sukshmam, upadhasyat, adhishvaraha. So when will we get, or will the Supreme Lord give us that Vaikuntha, that supreme destination of which he is the Supreme Lord? So wait a minute. How can the Vrajvasis ask for Vaikuntha? What is the mystery here? That is the question. So please try to think about it. Okay, I hope the question is clear. Okay, any? Okay. Any comments, questions, anything? Okay, if not, then we will conclude here. We will see next time and continue this chapter. So please watch out for the announcement. We may or may not have class next time because I'm traveling. All right. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare